Okay, beautiful soul. I am so grateful to dig into today's topic. This one hits home. This is one that has been a huge part of my growth, my journey to entrepreneurship, my scaling of my business. It's the thing that has helped me really go from just an idea to, how much it's grown and doubled and continued to double through time. And so I'm really excited to dig into this today. So I'm just going to get into the meaty part of the entire episode, which is if no one else understands your idea, your business, anything, it means it's 100% yours. So if no one else gets it, it means it's 100% yours. So how often are we trying to get validation from other people on the big move, the business idea, the should I do the leap into the next thing, into the next offer? And so often we are finding ourselves holding back because maybe our partner doesn't understand it, or maybe our friends don't understand it. We have that fear of judgment that people are going to judge us. And so I want to share a little bit about my own journey where so much of what I've done, people just haven't understood. And I'm okay with that. It was difficult, but I'm just going to share with you kind of what that means and what my journey was like with that. So I remember when I, first became a shaman and I was being initiated into shamanism, my own shaman reached out to me. She said, "Hey, you're being initiated into shamanism, or you're being called into shamanism. I keep getting this message. How does that land with you?" And I said, "It feels like a full body yes, but what's a shaman?" So I did a little Googling and I was like, okay, like let's do this thing. And I leaned into this really powerful initiation portal with her. And it was so amazing because it felt more of a path of remembering than it did learning new information. And so with that, I am now the sorority girl turned shaman. And naturally, it was whiplash for me. It was whiplash for everyone else in my life because they were like, "I'm sorry, what the actual F is going on? I thought you were the girl that was going to black out with me. Why aren't you blacking out anymore?" And it was like this massive spiritual awakening that I had. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't unsee the things that I saw. I knew that it was my journey and it excited me more than getting drunk did. And I was just like, I have to follow this. I feel so in alignment with this. I have to follow it. And so I just kept leaning in, even though a lot of people around me didn't get it. So what I mean by if no one else around you gets it, it's 100% yours. I mean, it's not your mother's, it's not your dad's, it's not your partner's, it's not your friend's idea, it's your idea. So instead of looking for the validation from other people, look for the courage within yourself to go after that thing. So I've had to continue to just cultivate so much courage to continue to go after the thing that's lit me up. Like I always tell my clients, follow your path of highest excitement. Like your excitement, your joy, your expansion is your fastest path there because it's unique to you and it's guiding you into the rooms that you're meant to be in, to be around the people that you're meant to be with. It's magnetizing in your dream clients. And so it's so important for us to follow our joy. And so often, how often does this happen to you where you have a great idea, you're feeling so joyful about it, you share it with your partner and they're like, "But what if it doesn't work?" Or "I don't know if you should really do that. That doesn't I don't know if anyone's gonna do that." Or friends are like, "I think someone might judge you for it. I don't know. It's a little weird." Right. And so I got a lot of that. I actually had a lot of friends who were like, "What are you doing? I don't understand it. I don't like it. I need you to stop being weird and start doing what you used to do if you want to hang out with us." And I remember, being like, well, if that's my only choice, that I have to stop being me to hang out with you, then I think I'm going to be me. And I think I need to heal because I'm going to have to grieve losing all of you at the same time. It was a really difficult time where I went through this huge spiritual awakening. I started really leaning into this, and a lot of people around me didn't get it. Like a lot of friends from college, they just didn't understand it. And that was really difficult. I went through a very hard grieving period because to me, I always thought breakups were more about breaking up with a partner than friend breakups. I just never experienced friend breakups. It was we're friends and then we're just going to keep being friends. And why do we have to think about breaking up? So it was so jarring to my nervous system when all of a sudden it was just not in alignment on either side, where I think so often we get caught up in oh no, they don't like me. And it's well, do you want to be in the room? Do you want to be in the text thread? Do you enjoy being in their presence? Like, you have a choice here. And that was part of my own journey with getting my power back, was like, actually, I don't even want to be there anymore. I don't want to be in those rooms. I don't want to be in those text threads. It just doesn't feel like it's in alignment with me. I've got shit to do today, and I don't want to spend my time, talking about other people. I want to talk about changing the world. And so for me, it was like, I just knew that I had to lean in. But I will say, a lot of my journey, people have questioned, like becoming a shaman, like having the big spiritual awakening, suddenly being, going from party girl to like, being so spiritual. Like, there was a moment in time where I was questioning, like, is God even a thing? I don't know. Like, maybe, and like, then I went on this big spiritual awakening, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Not only is God a thing, I think God is within me, and God is within everyone. And like, it just went on this beautiful spiritual path. Everyone has their own ideas on what they believe in. And I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm just here to honor my truth and to continue to honor my truth along the journey. And that's what I'm inviting you into today as well. It's like, it doesn't matter if people agree with you, but for people to stay in your life, they get to respect you, and vice versa, right? It's like, you don't have to agree with me, but you get to respect me. And if you're not respecting me, then I don't want to be energetically plugged into you anymore. Like, it doesn't feel good to be in relationship with you. And so I had to make some really hard decisions when it came to that, around like, who am I available for and who am I not available for? And I'm just giving you that permission slip to honor your truth, even if people don't understand it. And I know that there's grieving attached to that when we lose people that we absolutely love. But I will say that it created this beautiful spaciousness for the people that were most in alignment to come in. Like, if I had just forced myself to stay in rooms or to stay in friendships that were out of alignment, I would have been thinking about it day in and day out. And I would have felt like this really, like, so much friction. I wouldn't have had the time and space to build my business. I wouldn't have called in the friendships that I have today, where there's so much grace, where we're, going on high vibrational trips together, where, we can cancel last minute and that be okay because we're tired. Like, there's no expectations, but we love each other so deeply. And those are the kind of relationships that I'm just so grateful to be a part of, because people, like, we are there for each other. We are deeply connected. And so my invitation to you is, continue to honor your truth. And it was very interesting when I got the intuitive ping to leave my corporate job. And that was a big leap of faith. And my husband was not on board with that at first. He was like, no, I'm the entrepreneur. And like, we don't need two entrepreneurs. That's very volatile. And he was like, he had a lot of fear around me quitting the quote unquote stable thing and leaning into the leap of faith around going all in on my business. And so that's okay, because I knew in my bones that I had to do it. But it took really difficult conversations, because it involved my family, multiple conversations, for us to get on the same page about what that looked like. And ultimately, I did it. I did the leap of faith, and I stepped into it. And it's funny because all of these big moves that I've made, he hasn't understood as I'm making them. But when they pan out, he's like, oh, that makes sense. I get it now. And so just honoring the fact that, like, just because my husband didn't get it, doesn't mean he's not supporting me, but I also get to honor my truth and make shit happen, you know? And so it's about like, yes, I get to like be in communication with him and really lean in and connect with what feels good and what feels like it's in alignment, and where we needed to come into alignment. Yes, that made sense, but that really just meant I had to have some difficult conversations, because if I had just said, oh, he doesn't want me to, so I'll just stay in a job that I hate, or, oh, he doesn't think I should invest in this space or hire this person, so I'll just do it all myself, then I would have been stuck not being able to build and scale the way I knew energetically I needed to. So like, when I ended up investing in a mastermind that was 25K, he was like, what the actual F is wrong with you? Like, what, like, actually, here's what's very interesting about this. I'm actually going to backtrack on this. So this is really powerful about investing. And I want to share this because this feels relevant for someone who's tuning in right now. So what was interesting was, I remember being on a call and they were pitching the 25K mastermind. And I was not in alignment. Like, my limiting beliefs were coming through, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to spend 25K. They're high. Like, no way. And I told my husband, like, oh, they just pitched the offer. It's 25K. Like, ha ha. And he's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, no way. Like, there's no freaking way. So he was like, yeah, what the F? Like, no way. But what I did was I went for a walk and I started receiving these downloads that were basically like, why would this feel like it's so much so in alignment? Why would you have manifested this in if you weren't meant to say yes? Like it's everything you asked for. It's everything you've been looking for that you haven't gotten in other places. So what's really here? And what I did was I said, okay, body, after I did my walk, I came back home and I said, body, if you could tell the story of this fear, how would you tell it? And I let my body just move. And this is a somatic exercise. And what happened was, which was really interesting, is I looked like a car dealership balloon. Like I was in major fear. I was like, what if it doesn't work out? I'm crazy. Like, oh my gosh. Like, like I just let my body move. And it was like terror moving through me. Like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I screw this up? Da, da, da. And by the end of it, after I was done, like there was nothing left. I felt like I'd moved every bit of fear out of my body. I had this overwhelming sense of calm that came over me that said, you can do this. You're meant for this. It's going to be the fire that you're going to light underneath your butt to have you grow and scale the way that you're meant to. Because I didn't have the 25K, but I was like, okay, can I make the monthly payment in my business? And I was like, I'm going to have to start making more money. And this is the thing that's going to actually light the fire under my butt to make more money because now I have to. And so what I did is I joined the mastermind, and it was the thing that lit the fire under my butt. And actually one of my highest cash months up into that date was when I stepped into the mastermind because it was soul aligned and because I was active and I showed up and I raised my hand and people were like, what's a shaman? Like, I think I want to work with you, So it's like, get yourself in bigger rooms. So to circle back to Brad and that conversation. So when I made the decision and I was ready to go all in, that conversation was different because I ended up actually just leaning in because our accounts were separate at the time. So I knew that it was mine. It was my business account, So this is my business account. It's separate from everything. And so I knew that this was a choice that I wanted to make solo. And so I was like, I feel good about this. Like, this is going to light the fire under my butt to do something different. And so when I went to actually tell him this after the fact, I was like, he's like showering and I like walk into the bathroom. I'm totally different energy now. Cause before I was like, my energy was, there's no way, this is crazy, limiting beliefs. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Like, no way. But when I walked in this time, I was like so in my power. I was like, I'm so grateful that I did this. Like I'm in my mind, in my power, felt so good about it. And so I walk into the bathroom and he's showering and I'm like, hey, like I did something kind of crazy today. And he's like, oh God, that could literally mean anything. Like, I don't even know where we begin with that. Like, give me a minute. I need to dry off. And so he walked out and he's like looking at me like, I don't know where she's going with this, but like, I'm clenching my butt cheeks, like a little nervous. And I was like, so I did something kind of crazy today. I ended up investing in the mastermind. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, honestly, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm kind of proud of myself. And he's like, it's gonna have you show up differently. And I'm like, I know. Like, so now I get to. And he's like, I'm like really proud of you. Like, this is gonna be good. And so I was like, what? So what I realized was my energy was impacting the story, the felt sensation that he was feeling about the exact same experience. So when I showed up earlier in the day out of my power, he's like, you're right. And when I showed up later in the day in my power, he's like, you're right. So people are consistently mirrors around how we feel about something. So if we are asking for validation from people and we're not clear and steadfast within ourselves, they're not going to be clear and steadfast within themselves. They're picking up what we're putting down. And so it's really important for us to tune into how confident do I feel about this? And instead of asking for validation, simply share from like excitement. And regardless of whether or not they understand it, it doesn't matter because it's yours. It's what you came here uniquely to build and the way that you uniquely came here to build it. And that's the beauty of it. So even when I was making that big investment, it was beautiful to actually witness my husband's energy shift because I shifted. But again, it was one of those things where it was like, if I had waited and asked for permission, I never would have done it. And now I've been in that mastermind 2 times, right? Like I'm in my 2nd year in the mastermind because it was so powerful, because my income doubled, because, so many new opportunities came my way. My podcast like exploded so quickly because of the incredible souls that are in that space. And so I just knew it in my bones. Again, I had to do it. And so again, if friends don't get it, if partners don't get it, That's okay. Continue to lean into that space because it's so powerful. And it's really, really going to shift the way that you show up in the world. So, no matter what, if people don't get it, it's about how do we feel in our body about the thing that we're creating. And if we don't feel safe around it, it's really important for us to start to calm our nervous system around the scary thing that we're doing. Really important. Actually, that's why I created the 7-figure shift. It's an exercise that's meant to calm your nervous system as you're going after that leap of faith or the manifestation or the thing that you're kind of fearing. And it's meant to actually help you manifest it in. So whether it's 7 figures, whether it's a soulmate, whether it's speaking on stages, whether it's a top podcast worldwide, no matter what you're taking a leap of faith towards, you're building something and you're like, I hope they come, right? This is going to normalize what success feels like in your body such that the people around you are reacting differently, exactly like my husband did. When I did an exercise that allowed me to calm my body and nervous system around a decision, and I felt so steadfast in my truth, suddenly the people around me, the universe around me was acting in accordance with the energy I was putting out. But I had to do the inside work first in order for the people around me and the universe to respond accordingly. So I 10 out of 10 recommend that you download the 7-figure shift because this is such an important way to manifest. It's not about affirmations. I mean, if those work for you, fabulous, but it's not just about affirmations and journaling and toxic positivity, which means I'm not processing my low vibrational emotions and I'm just saying everything's fine, everything's good, right? It's so important for us to honor where we're scared and honor where there's fear and alchemize it. My goal for you is to say, like, if you notice that there's fear in the thing that you're doing, the leap of faith, right? Instead of swinging to the other side, like so many gurus have said, and just said, like, think positively, be in a high vibe, it'll manifest in. What I invite you into, because that's not embodied, that's just something you're trying to do in your mind. It's not embodied if you're just doing that shift like that quickly. Maybe it's that fast. Like maybe you just had a fleeting limiting belief, but truly in your bones, you know that something is in alignment with you. But if there's real fear there, or there's something that you're like, oof, there's something heavier here that I can't think my way out of this, or the affirmations aren't working, or the journaling isn't taking me far enough. My invitation to you is to neutralize the fear that you're feeling. And then from an embodied place, you're stepping into a higher vibration, right? Because the fear has a heavy weight attached to it. So if we alchemize that energy, your overall weight, like the energetic weight, is lifted. And now you're actually genuinely in alignment with the thing that you want. So it's really important. So that's what the 7-figure shift does. It starts to alchemize the fear and it also allows you to normalize what success feels like in your body. So like when you're allowing yourself to actually witness the thing that you want, I guide you through an exercise that has you feel safety while you're visualizing the thing that you desire. It's a really powerful, super fast exercise. I channeled this exercise when one of my clients asked me to ordain her wedding. And I was like, absolutely. It was a full body yes. And then all the fear came up like, oh no, what if I screw this up? This is the most important day of her life. Like, and I was making it about me. And because I had all the fear. So I was in my ego story. And then I channeled this exercise from God, source, universe on how to actually visualize the day going well and how to feel calm about it in my body so that it just felt normal. It felt like success. It felt like neutral almost, but like joyful at the same time. So that when the wedding happened, I was like, oh yeah, I've already been here before. Like, this is normal. Like, this is okay. So even when like we couldn't find the groom and we're like, but I still felt calm in my body. Like people were still, it's almost like because I was feeling calm in my body, they felt calm in their body. Like they were like, oh, you're right. He will show up. Everything's going to be good. He was just sick, but we ended up finding him and everything went good. But long story short, having that exercise was really powerful. So it's 10 out of 10, something that I recommend that you download. It's going to be in the show notes below. I'll make sure that my team adds it in there. So to just wrap this episode up, I just want to give you the biggest permission slip. And honestly, you don't need it from me, but I just want to remind you to give yourself that permission slip. Like if absolutely no one else gets it, it's actually 100% yours because you're not being swayed by your parents or your partner. It means the idea is yours. It's uniquely yours. You came here to build it. And so I really invite you to follow that, to honor that. Like if you have that beautiful intuitive ping to write the book and you kind of put it off and you're like, no, it doesn't make sense. No one will get it. The plot's too crazy. Who would like Harry Potter? Like a guy with a big Z on his head. Like that's crazy. I should never ever write that book. Like that's so goofy. And then suddenly someone else writes Harry Potter, right? That's the beautiful thing about intuitive pings. God source universe wants to send it through us. And then if we put it in a shoebox for too long, sometimes that idea goes to someone else. And you're meant to follow it. Like your soul blueprint came here to build that in a unique way. And so I'm so glad that they moved forward, right? That J.K. Rowling moved forward with actually writing Harry Potter, because what a gift that was. I mean, I loved those novels. I loved the books. I mean, of course, the woo-woo in me was like, what? I want a wand. Like, this is so cool, you know? So like, imagine if she said, no, that's silly. Like the guy has a Z on his forehead. Like what like, no, I should just throw away this bar napkin, which is where she started writing it, in a bar on a napkin, right? That was a gift from God. God wanted to move that story through her for the collective to enjoy. And she followed the intuitive ping. So if her partner at the time, or if her mom had said, that's so stupid, don't do it, and she hadn't done it, we wouldn't have gotten some of the most beautiful, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful, fun, lighthearted, deep literature that there is. Like, I mean, someone's going to be like, I'm sorry, what? But ultimately, I mean, I just love it. I just love it. Like in my opinion, it's such a fun read. And I truly believe, and here I am talking more about Harry Potter, but it's such a fun read, and to me, that was like, top notch. Like I've got some books that I would read again. Those I actually read twice, and all of us have our own unique book that we would maybe read twice. And there's a reason for that. So if you have that book on your heart, there's someone in the world that would love to read it twice, would love to be like, oh, that's the literature that I freaking love, that I'm so glad that she decided to write that. Thank God she followed the intuitive ping. That feels so good. I'm so grateful. I'm moved by everything that she wrote. Like I'm a part of her movement for the book, right? Like you're creating a movement when you say yes to the things that are in alignment with your soul, and they're not meant to be in alignment with everyone else's soul. Your people will get it. And the people that don't, maybe they aren't your target market. Think about that too. Sometimes think about like the person you're going to for the validation. Are they your ideal client avatar, or are they just your mother? You know what I mean? Are you just looking for like daddy to tell you like everything's going to be okay and validate it? Or are they not your ideal client avatar? And are you not even selling to them anyways? Right? Or sharing your gifts with the universe anyways, with people that might not get it, like mom or dad, right? So anyways, I just want to send you so much light and love. I'm so grateful that I got to channel this through, and just to share with you my own experience with, taking risky decisions, like going against the grain, following what lit me up, becoming an entrepreneur, creating the offers that I've created, taking the leap of faith, taking a step away from the things that were quote unquote mainstream to do the thing that lit me up. And now I'm witnessing how deeply it is impacting humanity. And I'm like, thank God I said yes to me. Thank goodness I said yes to me, because I'm witnessing the people that are so deeply impacted by the fact that I said yes to me. And that is your invitation. Think about the people that will be so deeply impacted by the fact that you followed your true soul's calling, because it's there for a reason. You're meant to impact humanity with it. So I completely invite you to follow it and allow yourself to be guided by it, and shut out all the other noise. So I'm sending you so much light and love. I cannot wait to tune in with you next week. And until then, mwah, talk to you here soon. Bye.